Hello, nerds. We are set up differently. See, no, it's magic. I don't have to hold this microphone. All right, so that was lame. Anyway, we are doing reaction videos. We're going to do another batch, and starting off this batch, we're doing Protest the Hero's new track, The Canary. I am super excited about this. We've got to do the intro piece before we can get into it. But yeah, again, super excited about this. So, yeah, Protest the Hero is a band that I listen to regularly. I think I can get a little bit more volume out of this microphone. All right, that's better. All right. I love this band. Like I said, I listen to them all the time. Super excited about the new record. June 19th is the release date for the record. The name of the album will be Palimpsest. We talked about this on the news show. Yeah, I mean that's really their Canadian band. What else should we do for history? I don't know if we need to cover history, but Canadian kids that when they put out their first label record, like the first one that they actually didn't do just by themselves, was Kazia. It's a concept album. I believe 3/5 of the band were still in high school when that record came out, and it made me question whether or not I should continue playing the guitar, because I will never be that good. And they are a fair amount younger than me. So that is kind of the level that they started at, and they have kind of, I mean, like every band has peaks and valleys in their career, so by and large, though, it's been a lot of peaks and not a lot of valleys. New record, the thing that's notable about this new record, and this will factor into expectations for this song and video. The new record, Roddy, the vocalist, Roddy Walker, had some vocal problems. They had to stop recording because he had to get surgery on his vocal cords midway through the recording. It sounds like, if I'm remembering correctly, it sounds like they once he healed, once he went through all of the things that he needed to do after surgery in order to get back up to performance level, they re-recorded all of his vocals, so there aren't going to be pre and post vocals on the record as far as pre-surgery, post-surgery. It's all post-surgery, which makes sense. So yeah, all right, so that leads into expectations. I am expecting Roddy's vocal to be different. I don't know if if that means less impressive, because he's always blown me away, especially live, because he can still hit those notes live, and that's awesome. Dude has some pretty crazy range. So I'm definitely expecting something different from Roddy than previous records. Though instrumentally, I don't know, part of me is expecting this to be a little toned down as far as arrangements go and performance goes, but I'm of two minds there, because I half expect them also to do something even more technically impressive than they've done on previous albums. So I don't know. We'll see which side wins out once we do this. So I think that's what we have for expectations. Oh, and then as far as the video itself goes, probably, I mean, it looks like just from the thumbnail that it's going to be mostly a like slideshow kind of glorified lyric video kind of situation. But I don't know that for certain. That's just kind of what the thumbnail's showing me. So that being said, let us transition into the other screen and do the thing. Also, by the way, already people posting covers. I mean, yeah, it has been a week, so I guess that makes sense. You guys are a little bit more excited than me, I think, and that's a lot of excitement if you're already posting covers of this song. So, here we go. Oh, here we go. Super excited about this. And of course, my computer's going to take a second to catch up, so my apologies. Oh, now my internet's acting up? That's not cool. There we go. Nice. So already the technical portion, I guess it hasn't really won out just yet, because that's stuff that we've heard on previous records. Oh, also disclaimer before we get too far into this, we're gonna stop the video quite a bit. I'm gonna talk over it. We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna analyze it, because that's how I do reaction videos. If you want to watch the original song or the original video, whatever, then go listen to the original. That's not what we're here for. We're not here to just sit back and watch. We're here to react and analyze and talk. So, yeah, that out of the way. The one thing that I really love about Protest is it's really hard for me to pick out, partially because I haven't trained my ear quite as good as I would like, but it's really hard for me to pick out where they are in the scale as far as, or the arrangement, as far as like they're on the one chord of the scale, they're on the 4, that kind of stuff. Because of the way they play, it makes it a little bit more difficult to pick that kind of stuff out. It's a lot more busy than most bands, so that's part of the reason why I like it so much, because it's not boring trying to figure it out.
I was named after my grandmothers in the tradition of my family.
Whoa.
I was born after my stillborn sister.
Whoa! All right.
Romantic idea.
So, different Roddy vocal, like we expected, but not the direction I was expecting him to go with the difference. So usually, like, I'm going to take the example of M Shadows. Shadows went from doing a lot of screamy vocals, doing a lot of really harsh, aggressive vocals, and kind of scaled it back, and is a lot more. And he's probably still destroying his voice because he has poor technique. Roddy, however, had pretty good technique. Obviously not great technique, because he still blew out his voice, but it wasn't because of his melodic singing, it was because of his aggressive singing, whereas I feel like it's the opposite with Shadows. Even though he went the direction he went, I feel like he's still destroying his voice because he has poor technique for when he's singing, when he's doing the melody kind of stuff. Roddy, though, I feel like didn't have quite the control that he should have, and that's why he blew it out. Not necessarily a technique issue per se. So my expectation, I guess I should have been a little bit more specific with this. My expectation was he was going to sit somewhere a little lower in his register and not do quite the higher, like, 80s proggy style vocal. And it seems that is not the direction he went. This almost sounds like their pre-Kazia stuff, this vocal. Wow. All right. So what it sounds like he's doing with his vocal is he's learned more diaphragm technique, and he's not pushing from his throat as much, which makes him sound much more in control, but also makes him sound like he's using a little bit of compression even when he's doing the melodic singing stuff. So super interesting. Yeah. Let it keep going for a second. I love those little runs that they do. Wow, so much more control in that voice now. right, we're gonna go back a little bit. We're gonna go back. Oops, wrong button. Right there. Listen to that control that he's got, man. Not quite as big of a dip as I would kind of expect, but still not as big of a dip as I would expect pre-surgery, but more than I was expecting post. But yeah. Yeah, he's definitely sitting a lot more. He's definitely using a lot more diaphragm and a lot less throat. I want to go back a little bit more just so we can listen to some of this guitar. So I'm looking. I pulled up the wiki, which is why I was kind of staring at this screen for a second. I pulled up the wiki to look at because they've had some change ups for this record. They apparently have a new touring bass player, but it doesn't say who recorded the bass for this album. Which is really interesting because I really want to know what they did for the bass because Luke and Tim, the guitar players, are so like it's such an intricate dance that they do. A lot less intricate bass work on this song than they have on any of the previous records. Still, you can still hear it though, and that's what's great. Listen. You can hear the movement on the bass, and that's so awesome. There's some hard bass right there. Yeah, I really want to know who did the bass. So if you guys know, let's talk about that because their original bass player who left after Volition, I believe, was such a great bass player and also had a really heavy hand in the production side of things. So that's part of the reason why their sound is the way it is. But they've continued it since he's left, so you can still hear all of the bass movement. You can still hear the bass in the mix when everything is in the mix. I love it so much. A little more 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 kind of stuff. A lot less of the crazy time signatures. But that just means you can lean a little heavier into the groove, which they're doing. So we're going to go back a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, the chorus is definitely 4/4. I feel like the whole song is 4/4. Or 8/8 from time to time, but that's just a variation on 4/4, just more rapid. They definitely do lean a little bit harder into the groove because of that, though, I feel like. So, all right. We've listened to the whole thing now. I'm digging it though. So it is not as musically. I was led to believe it was going to go one direction in the intro. And then as we got into the song, it didn't really head that way. I mean, it's still much more interesting. It's still much more sonically involved than a lot of other bands that are in this genre, I guess you could call it. That even a lot of other metal bands in general, because that's just what they do. That's what Protest does. Is they're interesting and they like to do these fun arrangements. This one, arrangement wise, still felt a little tired. It's a little ABC, verse, chorus, verse, that kind of stuff. So that, I feel like, hopefully the rest of the album, because they still do have songs like that in their repertoire that are verse, chorus, bridge, that kind of shit. They're few and far between, so I'm hoping that since this is the single, that they're going to be a lot more experimental still with the other music on this record. Either way, it's Protest, and they're not as good records. They're still better than most. But yeah, that was kind of disheartening, and also the straight 4/4 the whole way was a little kind of disheartening. Still super impressive musicians, still super impressive. Roddy's vocals are always, again, blowing me away. Just kind of not on the same level as I was expecting. That's kind of, I think that's where I sit with that. I'm still going to get the record. Again, June 19th, Palimpsest is the name of the record, is the date that it comes out. Definitely, you guys should check it out too. If you're watching the reaction video, right? So that's really all I got for this reaction. I guess we're going almost on 20 minutes. So what did you think of the song? What do you think of the video? I feel like there wasn't a whole lot about the video. It was pretty much like I expected it to be, just more kind of a slideshow than an actual video, almost a lyric video, only the lyrics weren't on screen. It was more animated stuff, animated images. I don't know. But yeah, so the video was kind of whatever. But the song is the important part. What did you think of the song? I seriously love the way they produce their audio, and they are very big on making sure their sound is their sound. So I love it. They're so hands-on, and you can hear the bass all the way through. That was my big thing, was hopefully we get some good bass action, and boy, did we. So yeah, it could have been better in a lot of ways, even in the bass side of things. Yeah, it was great in the mix, but the performance of the bass part, I feel like, was a little bit lacking. But that is likely due to the fact that they don't have a full-time bass player in the band right now. So once that works itself out, which I'm sure it will, maybe live these songs will sound different on the bottom end, because they'll have a bass player who has lived with this music for a couple of months and can stretch it out a little bit. Or maybe they'll talk a ref into coming back into the band. Not super likely, but it's happened once before for a tour. Anyway, that's where we're ending it, guys. Let's have the conversation about the song. Don't forget that there is a website, generallynerdy.net. There is also a Patreon, patreon.com/generallynerdy, so you can help me keep things going. I can't monetize these reaction videos just because I don't have the time or the willpower to fight for fair use. That being said, again, patreon.com/generallynerdy is the place to go help things. There's even additional content on there. It's not just thanks for your dollar. It's thanks for your dollar. Now here's a bunch of extra content. So go check that out. Click on one of these two boxes below my face. Also, don't forget to click the subscribe, because I try and get a video almost every day. We do the news videos twice a week, all that jazz. Thank you once again for joining me, and always remember that if it's generally nerdy, it's probably here.